rent in Georgia, I'm paying $1,700 a month just for my rent. That's not including electric, gas, water, non-essentials. That's just my rent. I don't get food stamps for my other two children. I don't get government assistance. Nobody helps me whatsoever. It's just me taking care of my two children here. But her rights were stripped away from her. She did some horrible things. She's not allowed any contact with them whatsoever.
Parties have reached an agreement on all issues except the support amounts. Um, so John Taylor and Angela Humble, they're the parents of the child in this case. They're already co-parenting the child Alexander, and so what we would do is they're in agreement to be named joint managing conservators with the mother as the primary. She'd have the right to receive child support and the right to determine where the child lives. Alexander is 5 years old, I believe, but he doesn't really know his father that well because Mr. Taylor lives in Georgia and he doesn't have the ability to come to visit to Texas to see Alexander. Um, I don't think Miss Humble has any concerns with Alexander going to Georgia once there's more contact between the two of them. So I think what we're wanting to do is to do a temporary order, put it in here for visitation, that it would be at all times mutually agreed between the two parties. That Mr. Taylor would have FaceTime communication at least on a weekly basis, and Ms. Humble will make those arrangements. And we want to come back to court in the spring to see how that's going. And if it's going okay, and Alexander is getting to know his father, then we'd probably do a standard visitation schedule at that time.
All right, then, folks,
Okay.
I'll let y'all know that I normally do that at 6 p.m. every Sunday Central Time, which means 7 p.m. your time, Mr. Taylor, if you're in Georgia. So that's when I normally do the FaceTime visits with kids. And but I'll go ahead and let the state get some further information for you, both of you. All right, you're both officially under oath, and you can put your hands down. I'll let the state call you as witnesses. Thank you.
Okay, and one final thing, Your Honor, we're also going to do stipulations on Mr. Taylor's gross income, the adjusted net, and also there's an agreement even on the retroactive support. We just don't have an agreement on the payout.
All right, thank you.
So let me tell you what it is. Mr. Taylor, of course, he lives in Georgia, so you have to apply the state of Georgia income tax.
Right.
His gross monthly wages are $3,471.02. He has two other children that live with him, and we are going to he's in agreement. Well, I don't know if he's in agreement or not, but we're asking for medical support of $52. Okay. The adjusted net is $2,401.80. And then the guideline amount should be 16% of that. The parties are in agreement to a retroactive child support judgment of $12,935 with the payout that the court will determine. Okay. And otherwise, the only thing the court really needs to set is going to be a payout on the judgment and determine what the current support should be. I think Mr. Taylor is asking you to vary from guidelines since he does live out of state and due to the whole issues of travel to Texas to see the child. So,
all right.
Okay.
All right, let's get some testimony, and I'll ask you how often these actually get to Texas. Because
Yes.
Mr. Taylor, I usually don't grant a deviation on child support for travel expenses unless I have a history of it. Because my first 5 years as a judge, I used to always do it, and then I hear 90% of the time they never did it. So I was giving them credit for something they didn't do. So I changed that about 15 years ago. So if you can show me that you're doing it or have done it in the past, then I will go ahead and look at doing it. But until it's something established, then I would love to give you benefit of the doubt, sir. But we're talking about money, and that's always a good one. But this time, I'll go ahead and let the state call you both as witnesses. You're both under oath, and the state may proceed. Thank you.
Okay. I call Angela Humble.
Yes, sir.
It's Humble. You're the mother of Alexander Taylor, correct?
Yes, sir.
And John Taylor is the child's father?
Yes, sir.
And Your Honor, I'm going to stop for just a moment. I'm going to screen share the acknowledgement of paternity. Scroll down to there's their signatures.
All right, folks, this is going to be State's Exhibit number one. This is the acknowledged paternity. It appears that both of y'all signed off back on the 21st day of November of 2018. Is there any legal reason I should not be allowed to allow this in evidence at this time, Ms. Humble?
No, sir.
Mr. Taylor?
No, sir.
All right, so State's one is admitted, and you may proceed, Mr. Moon. Thank you.
Okay. Ms. Humble, who does your child Alexander reside with?
Me.
Okay. And well, what kind of visitation or what kind of relationship does he have with his father?
Um, he don't really have one. I got used to calling John a lot because John works different hours and the time difference with us. So, but a lot of times he can't answer due to his job. That's why I would like him to video chat more, maybe call Alex instead of me trying to call him when he's on his break or something, but he hasn't really had no relationship with him.
Well, okay, when is the last time he's been to Texas to see him?
The last time he was in Texas to see Alex is when he lived here.
Okay, when was that?
Um, I'm I'm thinking in 2019. It's before he moved to Florida.
So really, you're saying that he hasn't seen this child since 2019?
No, sir.
Well, what about have you been doing FaceTime?
Like I said, not often. No, sir.
Well, okay, well, how often do you do it?
Um, like I said, I try to call him at least once or twice a week. It's just time schedule difference and time difference. He usually don't pick up. Um, I I don't really know what else to
All right,
say about it, but he don't.
but bottom line is you're okay with him being named the joint managing conservator, which basically means he has the same rights to your son, correct?
Yes.
And you would like to do a visitation basically at all times. The two of you agree to, and in the absence of agreement, they would be basically supervised by you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then would you like to make this a temporary order in order to see if Mr. Taylor can basically develop a better relationship through FaceTime?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Um, are you in agreement to um, the child support arrears judgment or retroactive support of $12,935? You're in
Yes,
agreement
sir.
to that, correct? All right. Oh, one final thing. Are you asking to keep your address and phone number confidential in the order?
Yes, sir.
But it's not against him, correct?
No.
In other words, you have another person that with some family violence, then that's why you would want to keep it protected and confidential, but it's not directed at Mr. Taylor. Okay.
No, sir. It's
All right.
directed at another father to my child.
Okay. All right. Is your child on government assistance right now?
Yes, sir.
And basically, it has a government medical plan?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. I passed the witness, Your Honor.
All right, ma'am. I'll be right back to you in a moment. Call your next witness, please.
Okay. I called John Taylor. Uh, so, Mr. Taylor, are you in agreement with everything I proposed today? That basically that the two of you would be joint managing conservators. We'd have some visitation to be agreed between the two of you with some FaceTime. You're in agreement with that, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you provided to me today your wage information of what you make, correct?
Yes, sir.
We determined that your income is $3,471.02 per month. That's gross, right?
Yes, sir.
We also determined you're in agreement to pay $52 per month medical support for your child to be on insurance.
Absolutely. Yes,
You're in
sir.
agreement with that, and you're also in agreement then that your adjusted net, basically after deductions and even giving you credit for state of Georgia state income tax, your adjusted net is $2,401.80 per month, correct?
And that means what's left over?
That's what's left over after
Yes,
deducting
sir.
all of the taxes.
I just want to make sure I was clear. Yes, sir.
$2,401.80. And you have two other children, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You're also in agreement to the retroactive child support in the amount of $12,935, correct?
Yes, sir.
That's basically 4 years of retroactive child support, giving you credit off of that of what you've already given Miss Humble directly, correct?
Yes, sir.
So, are you asking the court to vary from the child support guidelines? Uh, in other words, not to order uh, what we would normally order on that due to your expenses.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be like you said, travel expenses. It is expenses. I mean, obviously, because like I said, rent in Georgia, I'm paying $1,700 a month just for my rent. That's not including electric, gas, water, non-essentials. That's just my rent. You know what I mean? I don't accept. I don't get food stamps for my other two children. I don't get government assistance. Nobody helps me whatsoever. It's just me taking care of my two children here, and that's no excuse to not take care of Alex. Don't get that wrong. But yes, as far as expense wise goes, yes, sir.
Okay. And just out of fairness to you, what are your monthly expenses, not including child support in this case? What are your monthly expenses right now?
I've got it written down right here. My rent, 17 a month. My electric is 180 a month. I have gas, that's 60 a month. We keep the water down to 80 a month. Do you want car insurance or groceries? I only spend $110 a week on groceries between me and my two children. We shop at Aldi's and we get it cheap.
All right, so the two kids live with you that we're talking about, correct?
Yes, sir. I have sole custody of them. The state of Texas awarded them to me in 2019.
Okay. And are you getting
Oh,
any
I'm
child
sorry,
support from the
2000.
mother of those two kids?
I'm sorry.
Are you getting child support for those two children, sir?
Every once in a while, she cash apps me $100 here and there. Go get them some shoes or some shirts or stuff like that. But her rights were stripped away from her. She did some horrible things. She's not allowed any contact with them whatsoever.
Oh, okay. So you're sole MC of those two kids, correct?
So, yes, sir.
All right. Thank you. You may proceed, Mr. Moon.
Mr. Taylor, um, let me see here. I forgot to ask you: are you in agreement that Miss Humble's address and phone number would not appear in the order, but she'd still have to tell you where she lives and what her phone number is?
Yeah, yeah, I have that information. But yes, sir.
Okay. Is it true that you haven't really been to Texas since 2019?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Um,
Simply for the fact, I mean, no excuses, but right when I moved, 2020 pandemic, could barely get any work. Right after the pandemic is when she mentioned to you, I started sending the money, the $1,000, here and there when I could, right after the pandemic.
okay, and Mr. Taylor, are you wanting to develop a relationship through FaceTime with your son?
I'd love to. And like I said to you before, I mean, I wouldn't expect her to just let him rush off to Georgia with me, not knowing me as well as he should.
Okay, I pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, then, Mr. Moon, what's the guideline amount?
Okay, the guideline amount is 16% of his take home, and that's 384 a month.
Okay.
384 is the guideline on that.
All right. Mr. Taylor, and it may be a little fast on this, but the norm is on most of my cases where people live this far apart, the non-custodial party gets the kids at best usually 2 times a year or maybe 3 times a year. And it's usually either the holidays and the summer's always one. And it's either the holidays or spring break for the other two. If you were to think, and I understand you got two other kids that you have to deal with. How old are the two other kids that you have, sir?
My oldest son is 15 and my younger one is 11.
All right, then. So if you were able to come to Texas and visit with the child before this, how soon do you think you can make that happen, sir? I mean, sometime over the next 6 months, I'm looking at probably.
I want to say, well, the plan was I was going to try to get down there when I get my taxes because I'm paying for a car right now, and full coverage insurance I have on it is by the mile. So I took my son an hour away to his friend's house, and my car insurance was $267 for full coverage just for 1 month. It's called Mile Auto. I'll never get it again.
Never heard of it. So, okay. Yeah, sounds like a good one to me. All right, then.
Yeah.
So you think you might be able to come down after you up here with spring break time frame you're looking at then?
Yeah, I want to say around February, March, as soon as my income tax comes in.
Okay, well,
That way I can finish
and he's
paying for my
5 years
phone.
old, so he's going to school now. Is that correct, Miss Humble?
Yes, sir.
When's his spring break? Do you know? I know it's the Belton and Temple and Killeen. It's that second week of March. Is that his also?
I think so. Yes, sir.
All right then. All right then. Well, and depends on when spring break is in Florida, at least in Georgia. Then Dad may be able to come down with and bring everybody with him. So, but anyway, I am looking to go ahead and making a temporary order and and take a look at everything once and see if we can get this done. See if he can come down and get. And I'm sorry, start doing the FaceTime and actually do a live visit, and then I can maybe look after the live visit, setting up a better standardized package. So, Mr. Moon, do you have any other questions of either witness at this time, sir?
No, Your Honor.
All right then. All right, here's what I'm looking at doing, folks. Again, I can deviate some, and I'm probably going to do it just for this initial one because I've got that $12,000 back child support amount. The interest on that is over $50 a month, so I got to start paying. So I'm going to be looking at sending mom $100 a month on that. So based on that, plus a temporary order, I'm looking at going ahead and ordering temporary child support at $275 a month. And I will take a look at that again when we come back. So obviously, going forward, the first of the month, sir, you got to pay her $375. I know it's still a lot, but $100 of that goes on the back, and $275 goes for current child support.
Plus $52 for the medical, Your Honor.
And 52.
Yeah, I was going to say plus
Okay,
52. Okay.
about the medical. Okay, and 52 for the medical. So I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and let's make the temporary child support amount $250. So that means a total of $250 for the child support, $100 on the back child support, sir, and $52 on the current medical. And I'll adjust the temporary child support when we come back in to determine whether or not you and the child have been able to get a relationship going yet. I'm going to go ahead and name you both joint managed conservators. I'm going to get mom the right side domicile, that rights unrestricted. I'm going to go ahead and order the norm, sir, is that, like I say, I do that on Sundays because most people are still, no matter what, still off on Sundays at 6 p.m. Of course, this last Sunday at 6 p.m., I was watching Dallas get the heck beat out of them by that team from New York that will be named, who will not be named again. Anyway, I'm sorry, the Bills. Anyway, Sunday, 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, sir. I'm looking at I hadn't set up my April Zoom date yet, but I'm going to reset y'all for the April Zoom date because by then, you should got the income tax back. If you came down during spring break that second week of April, March, that'll give me time, and that'll give time for both that to take place and to do the FaceTime. And then I can make a final order with the final child support amount and the final visitation order going forward. That was a mouthful.
Yeah,
So,
well,
yeah, but I do this a lot. So at this time, I'm going to start with you, Ms. Humble. Questions. Again, everything I've done here today, I can change 180 degrees once we come back because it's only a temporary order. So, but this is what I want to do on a temporary basis until we come back in April. So, ma'am, is there anything else you have at this time or any questions you have or anything else you're asking me to do?
No, sir, that's it.
All right, Mr. Taylor.
So you were talking about Sundays at 6. Is that for? Do I need to Zoom call Alex, or can I just call him on Messenger?
Whatever y'all want to use for FaceTime.
Okay. Okay.
Both y'all have iPhones. Obviously, iPhones have their own FaceTime. Of course, I forgot what my college roommate likes so much. It's one of those chat programs. Heck, let me take.
Like Skype or something.
Yeah, well, Skype's on Microsoft. That's on your computers.
Oh, okay.
We
Your
use
Honor.
Messenger too, so.
Your Honor, do you want to waive the court cost or?
Yeah, I'll reserve the issue of court costs until a later date, until final hearing, and at that time I'll see about waiving it based on the circumstances.
Okay.
And
then do you want to grant the
WhatsApp? I'm sorry, my college roommate loves WhatsApp for us because he likes Android and iPhone guy. Yeah. So WhatsApp. So y'all can agree on what it needs to be, but again, as long as it's got a camera involved, like I said, you can use it however you want to do it. All right.
Okay, and how do I get the money to her? Do I just cash app it to her every
Oh,
month,
no, no,
or?
no, 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 no. The state's going to send you an order, sir, where it has to go as for to her, and I'm not sure. It would probably take weeks before, months before it comes out of your paycheck. But until then, it tells you where to electronically send it online. And if you want to, you can. I'm not sure if you have a MoneyGram in Georgia or work coming to Texas. So, but again, it tells you in the order where you need to send the child support through to, where you'll get full credit for it, sir. Okay.
Okay.
And Your Honor, is the non-disclosure finding granted at level 2?
Yes, it is. The non-disclosure is granted as to a third party, but parties are to keep each other fully informed of their contact information. And like I said, I'll hold the bands dealing with the I'm sorry, the court calls. Now, in fact, I'm gonna go ahead and waive it. He's taking care of 2 kids on a terminated parent. Good enough.
Yes.
I'm gonna go ahead and make court calls. Yeah.
Do you have do you have that April date in front of you, Your Honor?
I don't have the code, but I'll let you know what the date is. Should be the 16th. Yeah, the day after tax day. Yeah, everybody be in a good mood. So
April 16th.
yeah.
And have you generated a Zoom code
I
for
haven't
that?
generated that code yet. No, but I'll make one and get it out before I get out of here. All right, thank you. Y'all free to go, and I'm going to go ahead and make that Zoom code right away, sir. Thank you. Y'all free to go.